My next guest is the star of the Urbanite Theater's ongoing show, Athena. And here with me now is Lea Sevola, the lead character in Athena, to tell us how and when we can see this wily, entertaining comedy. Well, it sounds like you have a very fun role.
I do, yes.
A very active role, which we'll learn more about.
Yeah.
But what is Athena about overall?
Yeah, great. So it's about two high school fencers. One of them is named Athena, one of them is named Mary Wallace, and they come together and decide that they're going to train together because Athena sees that Mary Wallace is a really worthy opponent. So she's like, let's train for nationals together. So throughout the play, we get to see how they interact with each other as teammates and opponents, and how they interact as possibly friends as well.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so you had to learn how to fence for this.
Yeah. So
how did you train for that?
It's interesting because this is sort of a blend between fencing, which is its own sport, obviously, and then also stage combat, because we have to be keeping each other safe on stage. It needs to be something we can do 6 times a week, you know? So we had a fight choreographer come in, and we did sort of a fencing boot camp. We learned the basics about, you know, the weapon that we're using and, you know, the way we're supposed to move, you know, in the fight. And then we also blended that with some stage combat concepts so that the way that we're hitting each other is not going to harm each other after several performances. Because in fencing, you do actually have to make contact in order to get a point. Whereas in stage combat, normally it's choreographed so that you're not hitting each other, so that you keep each other safe.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, are you dressed up in full gear when you're doing this? Okay.
Yeah.
So it is safer in
Absolutely.
that respect. You're not like swashbuckling.
No. Yeah, we're like head to toe protected. We've got the mask, a glove, and a bunch of layers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think the audience would enjoy and learn from this play?
So I think what's really great is it's a play about 2 young women, which you don't often see, right? It's just about female friendship, which is really lovely. Also, it's funny. Like, it's very silly at times and a lot of fun. But it also touches on some big questions of what happens when you make a big decision as a high schooler, and how does that affect the rest of your life? And so these girls are going through a lot, and I think that the audience will be able to identify with themselves at that age.
So it's about learning how to get along with one another, relate to one another, and accept one another.
And the conflict between having someone as an opponent, but also trying to be friends with them. Like, what does that mean? We're supposed to be fighting each other, and one of us is always going to win, and one of us is always going to lose.
Yes.
But I also think I want you to be my friend. How do we deal with that? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots to think about.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what is the set for something like this?
Yeah, so
Where's
the
it
Urbanite
set?
Theater is a 60-seat theater black box, so it's already a very small, intimate space. And in fencing, you fence on what's called a piste, P-I-S-T-E. It's a big, long, rectangular sort of platform that you fence on. So the set is the long piste. So we're basically just like fencing on the stage the entire time, or like sitting and chatting on the piste throughout the show.
Okay, so that's it. It's pretty much just an intimate conversation between the two of you, or you're being opponents.
Yes, that's exactly right.
All right.
Yeah.
How can our viewers go to find tickets, and how long is the show running, dear?
Yes. So the show itself is 70 minutes long, and there's no intermission. Quick in and out. And we run, today is Thursday, well, I guess, so we run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 7:30, and we run Saturday and Sunday at 2, and you can get tickets at urbanitetheater.com. Yeah.
Now we have a little time left. Tell us about you a little bit, and how you got into acting and where else you perform.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm originally from Randolph, New Jersey. I've lived there my whole life, and I went to Ithaca College and I got my BFA in musical theater. So I work in mainly theater. I work in the New York area. I've done theater contracts all over the country. I've been to Oregon and Michigan, and here I am in Florida. I've worked in New York City as well. I've been overseas also doing theater work, and I just feel very lucky to be able to do it
How
as my
exciting.
job.
Now, how did you know? How young were you when you decided you wanted to do this?
Quite little. I've always been a singer. Like my mom always says, like I could sing before I could talk. So I always knew I wanted to be a performer. I saw my first Broadway show when I was 6 years old, and I pointed at the stage at intermission, and I looked at my mom and I was like, I want to do that. Yeah.
Wow.
So there was no other option. This is it.
No, I
Yeah.
love it. And that's, I think that, again, that speaks to, you know, women in general or gentlemen as well. But I mean, if you're passionate about something, you really should pursue it because you don't know where it will take you.
Exactly.
And you can always take another path if that one doesn't work.
Yeah,
but, you know, go
exactly.
after what you're passionate about.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
good for you.
Thank you so much.
And continued success.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
All right. Thanks for being here, Jim.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Up next on Suncoast FYI, I'm joined by Muffy Lavins from the Van Wezel to discuss Friday Fest, so don't go anywhere.